Hey, Celtics Nation. We're back with an exclusive video and the latest updates on our beloved Boston Celtics. Before we dive in, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that like button. This way, you'll always stay up to date and never miss out on any exclusive news. There's a buzz echoing across the NBA community right now, and it's coming straight out of Boston. Out of nowhere, the Celtics have made a move that no one saw coming. ADOU THIERO is officially joining the team. Yeah, you heard that right. The same ADOU THIERO who's been turning heads with his raw athleticism, defensive energy, and that fearless drive to the rim. This isn't some small signing to fill a roster gap. This feels like the kind of under-the-radar deal that could reshape a rotation in ways no one anticipated. Celtics fans woke up to this news, rubbing their eyes and refreshing their feeds, wondering if it was real. But it's legit, and the timing couldn't be more fascinating. Just as rival teams are tightening their rotations and thinking ahead to playoff pushes, Brad Stevens and the Boston front office pulled a classic Celtics move, silent, strategic, and perfectly timed. And the craziest part? THIERO's upside might fit exactly into the mold of what this team's been craving. Youth, length, energy, and a chip on his shoulder. For anyone who's followed ADOU THIERO's journey, this move makes more sense the deeper you think about it. Coming out of Kentucky, THIERO's story has been one of constant growth, relentless effort, and a quiet confidence that belies his age. He's the kind of player who doesn't need the spotlight to shine. He just grinds, game after game, play after play. Boston's scouting department clearly saw something that others overlooked. A defensive Swiss Army knife with the mindset of a worker. Think about it. The Celtics already boast a defensive core anchored by Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, and Drew Holiday. Add THIERO's wingspan, quickness, and switchability to that mix, and suddenly you've got a young piece who can thrive in the chaos. It's almost poetic how Boston seems to find these players before the rest of the league catches on. He might not be a star today, but the foundation is there, and in a system like Joe Mazzulla's, those kinds of players tend to explode at just the right time. Now, let's be real. When people first saw the name ADOU THIERO trending alongside Boston Celtics, the immediate reaction was confusion. The Celtics are a championship contender, stacked top to bottom. So what's the angle here? But that's exactly what makes this signing so intriguing. It's not about filling a stat sheet or making headlines. It's about culture. The Celtics have built an identity around toughness, intelligence, and unselfish play. THIERO fits that blueprint to perfection. He's got that underdog mentality that Boston fans eat up, a willingness to do the dirty work, to defend the toughest guy on the floor, and to hustle on every possession. It's a throwback vibe, and you can already imagine TD Garden getting behind a player like that. Every team needs a spark plug, someone who can change the rhythm of a game just by being on the court. THIERO might just be that guy. The one who dives for loose balls, takes charges, and pumps energy into a team that already runs hot. And what's even more interesting is how stealthy this move was. No leaks, no rumors, no WOJ bombs or Shams tweets. Just a sudden announcement that dropped like a mic. That's vintage Brad Stevens management right there. The Celtics operate like a vault, and when something finally gets out, it's usually because they want it out. Which means this wasn't a panic move or a reaction to injuries. It was premeditated. The front office must have been watching THIERO closely, maybe since his summer workouts or college performances, seeing how his defensive instincts could translate to the pros. It's a chess move, not a dice roll. Boston doesn't sign players to just sit around. Every addition has purpose. Maybe they see THIERO as a rotational weapon for certain matchups, guarding wings, switching onto guards, crashing the boards. Or maybe they see something bigger, a potential two-way contributor who could grow within this system the same way players like Derek White and Peyton Pritchard did. Behind the scenes, there's word that THIERO impressed Boston during private workouts with his motor and adaptability. You can't teach energy, and that's something THIERO brings naturally. There's a sense that his game will mesh well with Mazzulla's philosophy, quick decision-making, pace, and physicality. And let's not forget, Boston has been carefully balancing experience with youth lately. They've got veterans leading the charge, but they've also shown a willingness to invest in development. That's what makes this signing so exciting. It's not just about what THIERO can do today, but what he can become over the next 2 or 3 seasons. Imagine him growing alongside stars who demand accountability and excellence every single day. That's an environment that forges role players into difference makers. Celtics fans might not fully realize it yet, but this could be the kind of quiet move that pays off huge dividends down the line. So, picture it. TD Garden packed, lights low, the crowd roaring as THIERO checks in for his first minutes wearing green and white. There's anticipation, maybe even skepticism, but that's what makes these moments unforgettable. A young player stepping into one of the most storied franchises in sports, ready to earn every second on the floor. It's the perfect storm. Opportunity meets hunger. And if there's one thing Boston fans respect, it's effort. They can forgive a missed shot, but never a lack of hustle. THIERO's arrival feels like a story that's just beginning, one that could evolve from rumor to revelation faster than anyone expects. The Celtics didn't just make a signing, they made a statement. They're still thinking ahead, still finding ways to stay fresh and unpredictable. And in a league that's obsessed with stars, maybe the smartest move is betting on the worker who's ready to become one. The timing of this move couldn't be better, especially considering how the Celtics have been navigating their roster depth this season. Injuries, back-to-backs, and the grind of an 82-game schedule always reveal where a team's resilience truly lies. Bringing in ADOU THIERO gives Boston another layer of flexibility, especially on defense, where versatility is gold. Think about it. He's long enough to contest wings, strong enough to battle small forwards, and quick enough to stay in front of guards. Mazzulla loves players who can play multiple positions without breaking the flow of the system, and THIERO checks every box. It's the kind of low-risk, high-reward signing that championship teams make when they're thinking not just about today's matchups, but about what might come 6 months from now. Because when the playoffs roll around, those depth players suddenly become vital. You can already sense how this addition might shake up practice energy. Reports suggest that THIERO brings intensity to every drill, and for a locker room as competitive as Boston's, that's huge. When you've got guys like Tatum and Brown leading the charge, effort becomes contagious. Add someone who's naturally wired to push limits, and suddenly every scrimmage, every defensive rotation in practice gets sharper. It's that internal competition that keeps elite teams from getting complacent. And let's be honest, Boston's been one of the best-run organizations when it comes to culture. They draft smart, they develop better, and they always find those players who fit their ethos. THIERO might not have a star pedigree yet, but that doesn't matter. If he can elevate the energy in practice, if he can challenge the rotation guys to stay sharp, his value goes beyond the box score. He becomes part of the heartbeat of the team, the kind of player that doesn't show up in analytics, but makes everyone else better. Fans are already starting to connect the dots, wondering how this could change the lineup dynamics. Will THIERO see minutes off the bench right away? Or is this more of a developmental play? The Celtics aren't exactly desperate for rotation help, but every great team needs that injection of unpredictability, someone who can come in and tilt the rhythm of a game. Imagine THIERO checking in during a sluggish second quarter, grabbing an offensive rebound, slashing through traffic, and sparking a run. Those moments can shift momentum, and Boston has built a reputation for capitalizing on exactly that kind of energy. You can practically hear the crowd chanting after a hustle play, that trademark Boston roar filling the Garden. Even if his minutes are limited at first, it's clear the Celtics are thinking long-term. THIERO's ceiling is high enough that this could become one of those remember when signings, the kind people look back on and realize how quietly important it was. But before we continue, please remember to subscribe to the channel and give the video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest news about the Boston Celtics. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments as well. Behind closed doors, people in the league are already whispering about how Boston keeps finding these gems. It's almost annoying to rival GMs. Every time they think the Celtics might have hit their limit, they uncover another potential contributor. THIERO's athleticism has been on scouting radars for a while, but the way Boston swooped in shows they're seeing something others missed. It's that attention to detail, the eye for fit over flash. Boston doesn't chase hype, they chase harmony. And the more you think about it, the more this makes sense. THIERO thrives on defense, moves without the ball, and understands spacing. That's Celtics basketball 101. Add in his length and drive, and you've got the makings of another role player who could mature into a cornerstone piece. Maybe not a star, but someone who plays a vital role in winning basketball. The Celtics have built championships off guys like that, the unsung contributors who do everything right even when the spotlight's elsewhere. What makes this story so captivating is the sheer unpredictability of it all. Nobody had THIERO to Boston on their radar, not even the insiders who live and breathe this stuff. That element of surprise adds to the excitement, but it also says something about the Celtics strategy. They're always a few steps ahead. While the rest of the league was busy analyzing blockbuster trades and superstar rumors, Boston made a surgical move, quietly adding a piece that fits their long-term vision. It's the kind of move that shows confidence, patience, and clarity of purpose. They're not reacting, they're evolving. And for a player like THIERO, who's still shaping his identity, there's no better environment. Surrounded by leaders, supported by a strong system, and fueled by a fan base that appreciates hard work, he's stepping into a situation tailor-made for growth. Sometimes the biggest stories start with the smallest headlines. So here we are, watching a rumor turn into reality, and a quiet signing turn into one of the most talked-about moves in Boston. The Celtics just keep finding ways to stay fresh, innovative, and unpredictable. ADOU THIERO might not be the headline-grabbing superstar that dominates sports talk shows, but that's exactly why this is so exciting. It's the unknown that keeps fans hooked, the chance that maybe, just maybe, this under-the-radar player could become the next big thing. And in a city that loves a good redemption story, that believes in grit as much as glory, THIERO's arrival feels almost poetic. The stage is set, the lights are bright, and Boston's got another name to cheer for. The story's just getting started, but one thing's for sure. Everyone's watching now. The Celtics may have pulled off yet another masterstroke, and the rest of the league better be paying attention. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Boston Celtics, please subscribe to our channel and give the video a like. We always appreciate your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.